Um, yeah, first something about me. I'm a character model at Framestore right now. Can show you some of my personal work, all the stuff that I do at work. Can't show really. So these are some of my personal models that I did a while back. Really don't have much time anymore doing personal stuff. That's why I love ZBrush to quickly scope stuff. And concepting out creatures or any character is very, very fast. This is a test I did for doing hard surface sculpting, similar to what we just saw. And these are basically all, I call them speed sculpts, but it's basically what you do at work as well to explore characters, to start from a sphere, from nothing. It's much like sketching something on paper. And yeah, these are like some of the models that I just did. And yeah, it's great to do 2D drawings and everything, but when you can do something fast in 3D and then maybe print it out and show it the director or art director, I love that. Just to have that in their hands. All right, jump right in. So I actually need to load up some of my own UI. I can show you how that works. So that's my. So you see that quite some buttons have changed. So I like to have my on my brushes that I use all the time down here, because I don't want to think a lot about where's this stuff or dig through those. I mean, ZBrush has got so many menus and buttons and which are all great features, but it quite takes a while to dig through there. And if you want to do a design, then you don't want to restrain yourself by these menus. And I need my hotkeys. These are just some hotkeys I use. All right. Perfect. All right, so we just start from a sphere. And I'm going to use Dynamesh as well, but more in a organic modeling fashion. So we start with the polysphere. Something like this. And I like to work with perspective on. Yeah, so we're going to turn on Dynamesh, which is in here, the resolution, yeah. Let's go out here, turn Dynamesh on. Yes, that's subdivision levels, we don't need those. So it has nicely distributed polygons, and these are perfect to sculpt on. So what I would start with is, like I always do, is just creating something that resembles like a human skull. We're going to do something similar to a human. Just, in the beginning stages, it's all about locking down those proportions, looking at silhouettes, and what I always do is switching the color here to black to just, well, not now, just to check your silhouette very quick. All right. We should use symmetry on this. So I'm just blocking in, using the move brush really. Yeah, getting a skull shape in there. If you guys can see this, yeah. So let's go. You can do your measurements very quick. Just half of the head. Just check your proportions all the time. Putting in the eye sockets around, it's a little too high, around here. And you can use this also, just as thumbnail stuff. I'll show that later. Much you would do with a drawing. So getting some of the cheekbones in a bit higher. And force a little bit of the brow area here. So this is really just something that gets you started. And you could start from a base mesh, but sometimes I think it's just you have something already there, and it restrains you from something. Just want to totally have the freedom to design anything, and you don't really need a base mesh for this. So I'm just going to turn off my floor here. Okay, we need put in the jaw, back of the head. Something like this. And what's Dynamesh is great for, Dynamesh is basically extrusions on crack. So you can just, if I just want my neck, just mask that off and use the transpose tools to pull something out. And you can see here now that's the problem. If you just had a sphere and you actually want to sculpt it, you can't sculpt on this now, or you couldn't do before. Now we have Dynamesh. Just drag, and it gives you like perfect topology to sculpt on. You've already seen that in the other presentation. So I just pull that and check my model. What does that sound? So, sorry. Yeah, and then again, pulling out more of my form here, using the whoa. Just we're gonna do a bust or something. I don't know. Something quick. So this is basically just your armature, something to use to start from. So Dynamesh that again. You can smooth that out, and then this is quite a good stage to you use the clay buildup, which is almost just like dragging on balls of clay onto a model. So just putting some of the anatomy in there, smoothing it out again. And these are just landmarks for me. This is nothing done. You go from big forms to small forms. Trapezius, block that in. This is something I can start working with. So let's see what we do with this. Yeah, so now it's time to just explore. Make him look a little more alien. We do something alienish. Now we have like a basic human base that we can distort and change to something different. And I'm gonna show you what other brushes I'm gonna use. Now it's time to we're gonna get a little bit more detail in there. So we can put a little bit more resolution in there. I don't want to go too high now. For hard stuff, it's great because you can get those really nice sharp edges. But I like to, in a blocking stage, I don't want to have to deal with too odd details in the beginning. So I'm just going to give me a little bit more resolution here to work with. Yeah, so giving them a nose. Let's do it like that. Just transpose tools to rotate that out. that doesn't resemble anything yet. Just remesh it, so still a nice poly frame. All right, move stuff around. This jaw, we need to enforce this jaw a bit. And he doesn't have really anything here. So, well, like I said, check proportions like this. And just silhouette. So, I usually don't talk when I do this, so excuse me when I'm... yeah. And I'm starting to think now about anatomy now, where things are, blocking things in, how I think they could work with it. I'm still waiting on my head to see something where that can go. So I'm just going to start putting a little bit more detail, getting rid of this alpha here. So I don't know. Hello. Okay. So that works. So this is just blocking it in. Adding some form. Lips. And then there's this Damien standard brush, which was a plugin first, but with this one you can really nicely carve details in. I'm going to use that clay buildup for now, just to work this a little bit. And we can smooth it out again, and move things around. And I'm trying to to be fast and don't spend too much time on it, because maybe you're just going to throw it away in the end, right? Usually do like 20 of these. So going with chin. And then I constantly change proportions, use the move brush a lot to, I don't know where this is going. Okay, let's do some eyes. He's gonna get closed eyes. And this is much like working with real clay. Plus we get symmetry, which we can change later. So getting more of an eyeball shape in there. Okay, who are you? He's really lacking structure, so adding a bit more of the temple line here. And move that bit in. I'm really not happy with the mouth. Well, do that later. It's always good to jump around, and in the beginning it's always going to look like shit. It's a ball of clay. Jump around a lot. So maybe, I really don't like this silhouette here. So gonna try to stray away even a bit more from a human. And now I'm using this Damien standard brush, which is nice to cut in. Moving things. And then, just stuff like that. Okay. I just changed my layout by accident. He looks somewhat like a sea creature now. That's what I think. I'm just going to reset the brushes very quick. I think there's something wrong with the standard. Much better. So now you can use. I'm using this one a lot actually. I think if there are any questions, I'm so silent. If there are any questions about what I'm doing, please ask me. Well, it's very much just like showing off the process, I guess. Ah, that's why you look so. The angle of view is so high. Much better. Yeah, that was just. You can basically change focal length in here, or the angle. So if you pull that all high, it's gonna look hideous. We were working at 90, so let's go to 25. Something that's a little bit more natural. And it's always important to change the lighting and change the material to check it under different lighting conditions. So we got to go to broad material list here, and I like to use the basic material just to check my light. I got this this menu here, which I made myself just to have more options right at my mouse, and I can just check the model under different lighting conditions to see problems. Go back to the gray material. What's the gray material? And this is all these here have like lighting information baked into them. And I said it before, and all those can react on the lights that you actually produce in ZBrush. So okay, this is getting somewhere now. And yeah, the further I go along with this, the more you can put in more detail. Smoothing things out. And there are two different move brushes. The basic one, which I basically use, and then if you have like problems, you move stuff around down here. There's a move topology one, which looks at the topology and branches out its selection from there. So that's a little bit different in the result. Much like when you use the soft mod in Maya, you switch it to surface. That's kind of what this thing does. Now I like to change the alpha of the clay buildup to something rounder, like this one here. It gives you something that blends in a little bit better. So maybe still like this. I'm really just, it's thinking about anatomy, where stuff sits. I'm by no means a master of anatomy, but it's basically, it's really, really important that you have a good background on that. Even if you do creatures, if you just do, oh my god, it looks like E.T. a bit. If you do, and I thought original here. Yeah, if you sculpt something and I see people, show me their stuff, and I say, dude, that's, that looks wrong, because in a human body that won't happen. Yeah, but it's a monster. So yeah, that doesn't make it better. So flatten out this bit of it. He a little bit lost his jaw, so putting a little bit of the masseter in here, which connects up here. And then getting into the fleshy bits maybe a bit more here. And I could start now and putting in wrinkles and stuff, but that's not what I want, because a model that is, or a character that doesn't have good foundation and structure, wrinkles and nice details, which you can all do in ZBrush, and a lot of people start doing that when they pick up ZBrush and they, create a sphere, pull it around, and then put wrinkles on it. All this stuff is good, but it's more important to get the basics down. So I'm still trying to do something with this guy here. And yeah, you can have your art director or your supervisor right there when you're doing something, and it's so fast and quick to change things now. So okay, let's put a little bit more detail in there now. I'm just indicating stuff here, and the great thing, again about Dynamesh is that there are certain brushes which are great and would love to use them, but before I couldn't, because they would destroy the topology, like the pinch brush. I got it somewhere here, there. So with a pinch, you can do stuff like this, which just pulls geometry together basically to tighten up the eyelid, for example. And it's great, but if you look at the topology, it's just, okay, you can't see it that much, but if I do it here, that's what it does, and that's not nice. I mean, it's a nice line, but you wouldn't want that on on the render model or anything. But, well, with Dynamesh, I can now just remesh it. And now you see I lost a lot of detail, but there's this, David showed you guys this, this projection method, and basically that's built into Dynamesh. So if the thing is, you can't have layers on a Dynamesh. That would be too much to compute, which isn't really a drawback. If you do sculpting, you don't need to put a lot of stuff on layers. So to keep my details, so I do it again, so you see a lot of this stuff's got smoothed out. So, but I want new topology now, because I have another spot that I need to work on that has triangles of bad topology. I can go into Dynamesh under geometry again, and click on this project button here. And what it does, basically, it dynameshes it, and then it projects the details you did before back onto it, so you don't lose anything. Windows, what the hell? Sorry. Windows denies me my brushes. There we go. And the nice thing about the insert brushes is as well that you can build a library of things and then reuse them all the time. And, you know, if it's anything, what you not have is time. So if you build something, even a character, and you can Frankenstein stuff together. So put the insert brushes here, for example, in here. Yeah, these come all with ZBrush, even ahead. I could have done that really quickly. Use the insert brush, and then it's gonna look hideous, but so and how this insert brush works, David already explained. Again, it gives you it's one object, right? It's one subtool, but you get two polygroups. So I could dynamesh that now and make it into one and merge that together. But what I would want to do is you know, work on it. So the other stuff is selected now, deselected now. So I could just, okay, this is way too big. Move that down. I think this guy needs ears. He isn't seeing anything. He needs to hear some stuff. So yeah, again, just, and this could be anything that I've done before. And I have a library of this stuff myself at work and at home. And it just helps your design so much, you know, just have something basic, pull it around, and okay. Yay. Okay, at least that's all right. So again, now projection is on. I don't need to worry about all my details getting lost, but I want to have now one mesh. So actually, I'm going to move these out. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. You can always tweak them later anyways. That's the nice thing. You can really tweak anything whenever you want at any time. You're not really bound to anything. So I'm just going to merge it now together. Dynamesh. Oh, and the most important thing is, especially when you do project, and save your stuff. Yeah. Now we can see here, you know, totally different model. I just put it in there. Dynamesh did a good job putting this together. Now I just want to, you know, smooth that a little bit into each other. Smooth it out, blend the forms in. And let this smooth this stuff. And then, okay, I need to so this is a lot like drawing, I think. You don't really commit to anything. So I can get lost in details here. I just want to add a little bit of more structure, and he needs, this template line is annoying. Yeah, he needs more scope. You can definitely see that. So, I mean, it's a really great concept tool. You would start, you know, from a drawing or something if you want to, or if you work in an art department with other 2D guys that do loads of designs, which, I mean, drawings is still faster than this, but the power comes with pulling stuff together if you've done before. And just another, way of creating things gives you different results. And having an instant model that you can, then give to another, to the next production stage, that would build their, render assets from. You can bring this to any detail you want. You can build in pores and really finish that off here. Right inside in Dynamesh, right to every pore detail. You can just subdivide it up another time, add subtools, and from that on, you can either use it in the game as just rebuilding it as a low-res model, or rebuilding a render asset for a movie. And feeding that way into the pipeline. Okay. What's the time? How long do I have?
Just on 22.
22. I can put some more detail in there. I don't know what kind. Is there anything else that I can? Okay, this ellipse make no sense. I think everything's better with horns, isn't it? Okay, let's give them some horns. And that's, again, super fast. We can just use... yeah, I'm just really messing around with this guy here. Curve... What do we do? Curve tube, yeah. So... You can do stuff like that. I don't know. So, okay, horns. So you can go into the stroke palette. And there are different options here that we can play with. So these curves are great. You can draw them out. You can change their curvature afterwards. It's very quick to generate geometry with that. And it's an instant horn tool. So if you can even snap to surface and give them a necklace or something, or use the size. And what the size does is gives you horns, basically. Yes, I'm going to use that. So again, it creates. Ooh. There we go. It creates another poly group. We can treat that as one model, but with different selection sets, let's say. So I can use my move brush to move this guy. Move brush in there. Do you guys hear me? Oh, okay. So I just switch back to my guy here. Just switch the mask and then sculpt something that where the horns fit into, like a little reaction thingy that's going on there. Just the rim, you can see. It's like little it's like little details like that I wouldn't want to finish them off now. I just want to imply so that the viewer, goes, okay, I understand what's going on there. You don't need to, in a sculpting phase, you don't need to, in the beginning, go in there, like I said, and draw the wrinkles on there. All you really need is something to think, okay, this stuff goes in there, and then, okay, what I forgot to say is, what I like to do is, so if we hide for a second the horns, hide points. I like to just take him, put him up there, just go to draw and align it to the object, and back that down to the canvas. So that's a way I can start thumbnailing now. So I can keep working, changing things, and then like adding the horns, and then okay, have that as the next stage, next version. I can save out. Different stages of the model, bring them back again. If you don't change the topology, that means you don't use Dynamesh in the end anymore, because you have a lot of even geometry there. You can even save out different models, and then if you like the mouth on the one or the eyes on the other, you just load in that particular model, and you can just, as a blend shape, you can just blend it in what you need, and just mix it up. Okay, let's do the horns. So I would now just merge that together and a projection on, so I hopefully don't lose. Better way actually, what I'm going to do, what I would do in that case. If you go back to your Dynamesh in geometry, see, that's what I meant with going through all these menus. Click on group, and what that does, it will let you Dynamesh it, but it keeps the polygroups, or it keeps your selection set. So I get more resolution here. You can see 2 different polygroups, easy to select. That means I can just reselect just my horns here, and then they get really pointy in the top. I don't like that. So what happens now if you use your slice curve with this groups buttons on, and that's another way to cut up your stuff. Did it do it? Yeah. It gives you, what it does basically when you do this command. It just cuts right through an edge to the mesh. And if you now remesh, and this hopefully is faster, it gives you like a really nice cut. So this is now its own polygroup, nice flat top. Why did I move that? So, okay. So now I want to get rid of this, so I hide. Get out of symmetry. Hide this, hide these points, and say delete hidden. And that way you can, have different selections, different models. You can still, move that around, just selecting this one, and then there are other different kinds of move tools in here. The move elastic, which is like a little bit random, but it does funky stuff that and all I'm looking for, in a scope like that, as well as happy accidents. If you just keep going and exploring forms, and all of a sudden something happens that looks good. That's great. That's great for design. If you didn't really thought about it, and then it just pops up, it's good. Okay, that gets too pinchy, so we can use the inflate here to inflate a little bit of that. And we even can add a little bit more accessories. alien Viking. Rrr. Oh. Yeah, I know we can add like tribal kind of accessories to it with another curve brush. So we have the curve quad fill. So these, you know, more quick ways to generate geometry. That's too much. Yeah, so that you can control the thickness with the size. You know, the guys at Pixelogic always, you know, come up with these awesome stuff. It's so intuitive and easy to use. And then duplicating it is easy. Just hold Control and move it over, and you get another one. And then symmetry still works on those two different pieces. Moving these around. And these could, you know, I think that's another thing you could use in hard surface sculpting. Just draw at stuff like that really quickly to just, you know, get a shape and then massage it into its final position. Maybe do another one here. So I can still go in there and change those in when they are still active. I don't know, something like that. And then, oh yeah, I can use the stroke curve mode. Let's do like a headband or something. This one here. And like I said before, I can snap it to the surface with, is it not working? I thought I selected this brush. Oh, I'm not in draw mode, am I? Oh, there we go. So, stroke, size off, snap on, and then lower the size. Why are they not getting smaller? Well, I can just use that and delete the stroke. Sorry?
Just click on the surface of the head so it deletes the curve.
Click on the surface on the head.
When you're in the curve brush.
Ah, it keeps the... This?
Yeah, then click there. That should delete it, see?
Awesome. Thanks, dude. All right. Yeah. I don't know. Something like this. Could spend ages now putting more detail into the head. I think I say anything I should cover. And right, all different polygroups, all editable. All right. Yes. Okay. So I could go on doing this stuff here. I have another thing prepared that I could show. Which covers a workflow used in ZBrush to create a digital double from scan data. Could jump on that now. How much more time I have left? Okay, let's just save this. Just gonna run over that really quick. Clear the canvas, load. So, oh, this dude. And this is something that I did for the CGraph presentation I did in August last year. And this project is a little bit funky because it's from an older version. So it should be there. Yay. Holy, what's wrong with you? Wait a second. Yeah, I think because of it's up an older version. What the hell is going on? Well, that's awkward. I'm just going to start ZBrush again. ZBrush. That would be sad. Go ZBrush. Okay. Desktop. Please work. There we go. Nicer. So, when you do a digital double, you usually, you don't sculpt from a face. You get a nice scan. You get a nice scan from the company. So. That's Harry. So this is scan data, and this was taken from a cast of his face, from Danny Radcliffe's face. So you can't it's just it's the best reference you can get to build a digital hat from that. And we would start. We would start from a base mesh that I did before. This is already snapped to his head. So if we the scan workflow, please work now. So I would have a pre-made base mesh that is already in pipeline. It has UVs. So this is the base mesh that I used. It has already UVs. It just fits in with the other departments and rigging and everything. And I would like to get a mesh that just follows this here. So with the projection that David showed before, we can basically do the same on here. We just push this head into proportions and try to hit the anatomical landmarks on his face, and then project it on the lowest level, and you get a good representation then of his head in here. And then you would go and subdivide it up to a level that you can capture all the detail that's in the scan. So I'll go up, I think I'd subdivide that 6 times. So I have on layers, I can show you what I did on that. So this is the first projection I did. And there are obviously some issues with it, like in the eyelids and in the mouth areas, and then you would do cleanup. So, and you can see here, where he had the skull cap on. You would need to fix all that, can you see that here? Stuff like this, stuff like that, and you just fix that in a sculpt. Then you look at images and look at his body and his head, and then so my first cleanup layer this is like just mine things, but this fixes the eyes, for example. Now adding a little bit of detail, another detail layer which removes the eyebrows because we don't want those. They're just gonna done with the hair. And then I used the noise, surface noise in ZBrush to create a base. Poor detail level. So that's all very subtle. Hello? It's all very subtle. I don't know if you can see much of it. And then adding wrinkles, stuff that wasn't the scan but didn't really come through. Just added that. More skin pores, different kind of spots in the face. The T-zone has more deeper pore detail. More, and then I added a little bit of stubble, and just for presentation's sake, I put the eyebrows back in, and sculpted a little bit of hair. Now maybe it's easier. Well, I'm gonna make it obvious. Damien Standard, where are you? On a layer. Just keep going the eyebrows. Bam! Okay, he doesn't have glasses. David could Dynamesh them out very quick. Yeah, that's basically that. Am I done? Yeah, I'm over 2 minutes. That's it. Thank you very much.